Erika και Max, welcome to the first music video festival podcast by Cult Experiences. Thank you for coming. You came all the way from Larnaca, Roklini.
Yes. Well, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure being here.
I haven't seen you forever.
I know.
I've seen you. Yeah. So we're here because you actually won.
Because you forced us to.
Of course. If you said no, I would come with a gun in your hand. No, but you did win an award, Best Lyrics, which is well deserved. Can you talk about a little bit about the concept of the song, the lyrics?
Of course. Well, it's a long story how the lyrics came about or what inspired them, but I'll try and cut it short. So, the start of 2020, I watched a random interview on YouTube with an artist called Jack Savaretti. And somewhere in between that interview, they were talking about the concept of being an overnight success or an overnight sensation. And that sometimes that clouds the blood, sweat and tears that goes into your career, you know, what you spill into it over years to come until you get to that point where you get lucky, I suppose. And one night you wake up, one day you wake up from that night and you go, oh, I finally have done it.
Right.
So then one night when I was falling asleep, having watched that interview, I came up with the lyrics for the song. And then I stayed up until 2 a.m. writing the whole thing.
Okay.
So the lyrics kind of go about that theme of the American dream, or like this idea that
which
is
is
sold to
the
us.
title of the song as well,
Yes.
The American Dream.
So that this idea of the land of opportunities and like success and what that means for you, and that it might not be as it is, I suppose, delivered to people, or, you know, shoved to us as a concept. It's not as easy as just like, oh, move here and do that, and all of a sudden you're living the dream. Or if you get lucky, one day you wake up and you'll be famous or successful, whatever success means to you. So it was kind of more or less playing on that idea of what it means to me and how I feel about that concept.
All right. Well, congratulations, and let's cheers on it. This is from Panos.
Cheers.
The studio here. Michali, thank you, ο Νίχος. Ο ανιψιός μου πίσω. Max, you were in the music video. Have you done anything else for that song, or were you involved?
Well, I did play on that song, but yeah, I mean, the song we finished it very quickly. So when we met Erika in September of the same year, the song was just a drum loop of just drum brushes and vocals. And we kind of put the song together in basically 2 rehearsals. And 2-3 weeks later, after hearing the demo for the first time, we were already in the studio recording it.
So you did all the production on the studio?
No. I wasn't
Involved in the
I
production.
wasn't involved in the production at that point.
Yeah. Yet.
That was the last song I wasn't involved.
Right. But you did play in bass?
Yeah, I played bass, and well,
you were in the music
the arrangement
video.
was kind of a collective thing with the whole band, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So tell us a bit more about the song. The composition, you wrote the song, right?
Yeah. So that night when I had the idea for the lyrics, I kind of sang the whole melody and I recorded everything, and I played some she chords, kind of trying to get an idea going. At the time, the producer I was working with was meant to fly to Cyprus the following month to record another song that I had coming out. So when he was here, I presented him the idea of the American Dream, and I said to him, I've got this song that I worked on literally a couple of weeks ago. Let me sing it to you. Let me know what you think. And he was like, no, this is great. It's got potential. Let's record a demo. And that's when we did like just drum brushes, like Max said. And it was just the vocals, and we didn't even record chords, I think. It was just, actually, I don't know if my memory serves me right. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. I'm not sure.
There wasn't.
There wasn't. So it was just that. And then fast forward to, that was in February of 2020. Fast forward to September of 2020 when I met the boys. I said to them, right, I've got this song and I'd like for it to be my next release. Would you be happy to jump on it and help me finish it? And it was just instant. It was a quick kind of like, yeah, let's do it. sing it, play it. We got into the studio. We recorded it at Hot Soap Studio in Larnaca, and couple takes. Send it back to Sander, who I was working with back in the UK, and he mixed it. And we were going back and forth, and it was a bit hectic, which is also part of the reason why I decided to start working with people locally rather than working with people abroad, because it was hard to kind of communicate exactly what you want. You know, you can't just quickly go, I change that, do this, do that over, you know, video calls or phone calls. So he did mix it and he mastered it at the time. That took probably the most amount of time that anything else for the song took. And then I had an idea for a music video, and then that's when you came into the picture, and then literally a month after that we recorded the music video.
How did we work together? What was we met one night at Larnaca outside Sabine or something like that.
Yeah, actually.
Was it like that?
Yeah. So I was playing an acoustic gig with Andrea in Larnaca, and then you happened to come with Yanni, I think. And we spoke after that because everyone said, oh, you know, I've got this friend of mine that, you know, he's really good at doing videography. He's a director in LA. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I might need him. So I think we spoke that night. I don't think I actually mentioned that project in particular, but I said, I've got a project that I'm hoping to record a video for. And you're like, yeah, just let me know. And then I think we had a meeting after that. I came down to Limassol. We had a chat about it. I told you the overall idea, and that had a really crappy budget. And you told me, okay, we can work with it. Let's see what we can do.
I think it was one of my first ones. I think it was the 5th, something like that, music video I've ever did. And it was nice, actually. A lot of things came, like with the car that wasn't working. But let's talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. All right, Max, tell us a little bit about you. You are also with Private Garden. What else do you do? You're playing with other bands, or?
So apart from Private Garden and Erika, I also work with Kais. And the project is now called
The Pinwheel Valley.
The Pinwheel Valley.
The Pinwheel Valley. Yeah. We're not active, but we are working on an EP. I think it's in mixing stage at this point. But apart from that, I write music for other people a lot.
And you have a studio, guys, and
yeah, we have a small production room studio. It's single room. That's how I always imagined it. I guess it's different recording in a big studio behind a glass wall and having to communicate on the talk back and all that, instead of, you know, just lifting your headphones and telling the other person what to improve on their performance or whatever, or discussing the song.
Right.
So that was the whole idea behind the studio, but it wasn't.
Sorry, you have a door, a mystic door. What is it? A book? Was it?
Yeah, it's a bookshelf. I've always had this idea that I wanted to have a secret door to something. I didn't know what it was going to be in my life, but I said to Max one day, I was like, "Oh, what if we did do a bookshelf door opening up to the studio so that no one knows it's there?" And he kind of dabbled into the idea with my dad, and my dad drew up this little plan, and they were like, "Right, let's do it." So they actually built the whole bookcase door that opens up to the studio.
We just got some sheets of wood and built that.
That's awesome. I mean, I really liked it. I was like, whoa, okay.
It's not a new concept, but yeah, I think it's because the studio should be a little secret, intimate, safe space. And I think even for someone entering for the first time behind a bookshelf door, I mean, they will either be scared or they will actually feel like this is a safe space. Nobody knows what happens in here, so I can just be myself and express myself the way I want to be.
What's the process? You're writing your own stuff too, or do you do only production?
No, I don't. I'm more interested in translating someone's idea than...
What is the process there? Let's say Erika comes, hey, I have this. What are you doing?
It depends. It depends a lot, because sometimes a song idea comes from nothing, like just from conversation, and just something pops up and then 2 words and you just write a song around that.
Okay.
As strange as that sounds. But sometimes, people come to me with melodies, people come to me with lyrics, and sometimes it's almost a complete song, and they just want to move it into a different genre than it actually is.
Right. Do you have a style, like a genre that you prefer, or?
I have genres that I'm more comfortable, and I have genres that I have more experience with. Like, because I have done a lot of work on rock music, that's just easier for me. Other genres not as easy. Like, I don't do that much electronic music, so obviously that's not going to be my forte,
Right.
which I think is natural. But anything organic, anything with live instruments, I think that's where I have more knowledge, experience, and maybe even talent.
Okay.
Although you thrive in that environment in the sense of production and songwriting, we have dabbled into electronic music, whether it be for like other clients or for ourselves. We did a remix of our own song, and initially we were meant to give it to a friend of mine who is a DJ and has done a couple of remixes in the past. And I presented it to him, and I said to him, "Well, could you remix this song for us? I'd love to do a collaboration." And he was like, "Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure what direction I should take it in." And then Max said, "Well, why don't we just, try doing it ourselves and like just give us the chance to kind of see what we can do with it." So that was his
you
first
remix the song. Okay.
Yeah, so that was his first kind of remix.
It started as a joke, and it ended as a joke. But it started as a joke of just throwing a random, I don't remember which plugin it was, on the vocals. It was like a form and shift on the vocals. And I think I actually kept it in the ad-libs of the chorus.
I named him Eric. My alter ego.
Yeah, so just form and shifting and playing around with it while we were still working on the original song. And then just kind of put the idea in the back of our heads. Maybe you should remix it because, it sounds fun.
Right.
So it started as a joke, it ended as a joke. Didn't take it, very seriously. But, it is what it is.
I would like to listen to
thing.
it. The remix.
Yeah, it's
you
fun.
can find it online, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Erika, do you have a genre or?
I mean, I thrive in anything that goes under the umbrella of soul and R&B, and I love jazz, and I love like neo soul or funk and Latin as well. So I kind of just keep myself around that. I have done other stuff, mostly because I've tried to make a living out of music,
right.
and I've had to sing other genres,
And
and
you
I've had
have
to
the
experiment.
voice to do a lot of genres anyway. So
I've always tried to use that as I suppose a strong suit of mine, to be flexible and be diverse and be able to do things that people ask of me instead of going, "Oh, I can't do that." The only thing I haven't really dabbled in properly is Greek music, but that's just personal preference. Although we did do a couple of Greek songs as an exception for a gig once, but mostly like I've just keep to what I know my strong suit is, which is soul and funk and jazz and R&B. But I have that's not to say that I haven't dabbled into other things, and I do enjoy them every now and then, especially after knowing Max and his kind of background in rock music. That got me into it a lot more. And
I think you wrote also some lyrics to Private Garden, no?
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun for me as well, because I'd written lyrics for people in the past, but nothing serious, or nothing that was actually ending up on a project. It was kind of like, "Oh, let me see what you think about this verse," and it was at uni and stuff, so it wasn't like anything to be taken seriously. Whereas Max was like, "Right, why don't you just give this a chance? You enjoy writing lyrics, and write something for Private Garden." So I did, and I loved it, and it was
Which
actually
song
nice.
was
There's actually 3-4 songs,
Ah, okay.
but none of them are released yet.
But is the one that the last one I heard one?
Too late, yeah. That
Too
one we
Late,
actually
yes.
recorded it. It's kind of finished mostly. But we have 3 more, which were also written by Erika or finished by Erika, because the lyric ideas were started by either Stefano or Collective, and then we have Erika edit them essentially.
Cool.
Make sense of them.
It's you're creating a family that is nice, music family.
Yeah. Tit for tat.
I think that's what we're missing these days, because the industry used to be that the artist is just the artist and the producer is just the producer. The producer as the producer doesn't exist anymore. we have the engineer, there's also a producer, that's also the artist and the session musician. And you don't have that collective thing. Like when you go on the credits of, well, a lot of the credits don't mention the people who played on the records, but you go into any 70s record and the actual list of people who worked on that song is probably like 50, 60 people. You don't get that anymore. Now it's like 2-3 people, unless you're talking about really huge songs. And I think that's missing from music.
I agree. All right, let's go back to the music video.
Right.
We had an initial idea. You came to me and you said, I have this car, and we were planning to go from one point of you driving till the end of you still driving. The whole thing was going to be you driving, right?
Right.
And then we go on set and something is wrong with the car. We cannot actually shoot you driving, so we have to improvise everything on script, and that was actually pretty good. And it was a learning process for me, I gotta say, because usually before that, I guess, I had a script, and now whatever script I have is gone because the main machine doesn't work. And you were so calm, like nothing's happening, we're just gonna do it, okay.
Yeah, because I actually think it was, I mean, obviously unfortunate circumstances, but at the same time, I think it actually would have been a better idea than the idea we initially had, because it is a song about struggle, and it is a song about a bumpy journey, and it was exactly that in reality. So we had the Cadillac that, for some reason, at some point, just didn't have brakes.
Right.
So it was a bit dangerous for me to continue driving. So at some point I break down realistically we did break down in the music video.
Start driving and then we stopped.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we do have some shots of me driving, but eventually we get to a standstill. And I think that kind of worked in a nice way. And I wish we had that as an initial plan, because I think the concept would have been shot a lot better if we had that as that initial idea. But it was fun, and it was a learning experience for all of us. And it was, it was your first project with me as well. And I asked the other 2 band members one the time to join the video, and they were like, no, you can't be, but not for the videos, but just for the background. So
and your brother was there.
I ended up having my brother play.
The band happens to have radio faces.
And Max is built like a movie star. But yeah, so we kind of improvised on everyone, and I just asked people I knew. I said, right, I want someone to play my vocal coach in the video.
Right.
I had my hairdresser play him. I asked a friend, and I said, right, I need a stylist. And he was like, oh, I'd love to do that. And again, he also dabbles in like the entertainment industry, but it was all just kind of like, right, I've got a really small budget. What can we do with it? Let's all play around. I mean, my mum was handing out sandwiches and waters to everyone all day. And so it was a really nice learning opportunity.
Yes.
And it might not have been the result we were hoping for.
Yeah.
But it was still fun to do.
And it was Yannis and Andreas.
Yeah.
Andreas, who is actually now playing on TV.
Yep.
Who else was there? The little Erika.
Oh yeah, of course we had little Erika.
Tell us a little bit more about that concept. It was your idea. How?
So that idea actually stemmed off of a dream that I had. I had a dream at some point, don't know when, but it was in between the recording of the song and then the video, where I was faced with my younger self, and I was kind of cradling my younger self in this dream of mine. And I was like, oh, how cool would that be as a concept in the video, since I speak about this dream that kind of took over my mindset as a child growing up. I mean, as a kid growing up, I was like, oh my God, one day I want to be a Hollywood star. And it was kind of the idea of playing on to that innocence of me now versus me then, and kind of showing that in the video. I don't know if we managed to do that successfully per se.
I think, it shows.
But in some moments, I think you could see, especially the end shot, the closing shot, where you see me walking away with my younger self. I think that was a nice kind of finale to the whole thing. But
And it was a nice shot as well. And I remember I don't remember her name, the little Erika. She was so...
Carolina,
Yeah.
bless her, yeah, she was really sweet. And she was so happy to kind of be a part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I actually saw her recently. She came to a
okay.
show of us during Christmas, and she was so sweet. She came with a cake with her mum, and she was so cute. And I said, "Oh, what do you want for Christmas?" She goes, "I only wanted you for Christmas." And I was like, "Oh my god, like make me melt." But yeah, no, it was even that was lovely for me.
Right.
Like just to have someone at the age that I would have loved to had someone involve me in a project like that. At the age of like 3, I would have dreamt of being involved in a music video, you know?
So let's go back. When did you have dreams about becoming a musician or...
Always, since the start. I mean, there's the joke, and I've said this before in like other situations, interviews and stuff, that my mum says that I literally popped out of her wiggling and dancing and singing, because it's literally was from the get-go. I kind of always knew that I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. At the time when I was a kid, I thought I wanted to be a dancer more than anything. And then it turned into being an actress. And then I said, well, I want to do everything. And my mum was like, okay, go study performing arts then. So I was enrolled in a performing arts school at the age of 2.5. And then at the age of 3, I started playing my first instrument. And I immediately got involved in theatre and acting and dancing and singing. But the singing side of it only started more... I guess to take it more seriously was around the age of 12 to 13.
Okay.
And
how many instruments do you play?
only one.
Okay.
Well, I guess my voice counts. I play keys.
Yeah.
I play keys. But I haven't actually touched the keys in a while. I have a weird relationship with the keys. But it helped me writing to begin with, but now I have Max to do my dirty work. But it's good to have knowledge of, but I never felt comfortable enough to go up on stage and do both, because I crown myself as more of a performer than I am an instrumentalist.
Right.
So I like to be able to move around, express myself and sing, and really be into that rather than playing an instrument and singing. Although I hope one day I will feel confident enough to do both. Maybe just for one song at a concert. I don't know.
Right.
I imagine it. I don't know when, but it will happen at some point. So yeah, I kind of dabbled in everything as a kid growing up. And then at some point I went, I want to do music more seriously. So I ended up doing my first year at university doing performing arts. And then after my first year, I said to my mum and dad, I want to go do music. Just focus on music. I don't want to be just mediocre at everything. I want to do something and exceed at that.
And you've been to Voice, right?
Oh, I did The Voice of Greece in 2019.
That's when you get a lot of fan base.
Yeah, it definitely helped get some exposure, and it definitely built a small crowd for me. And that helped ultimately get work after that and have a steady audience that still comes back and listens after all of these years.
So you have the people that always supported you, but they still do, and you have a small community, I guess, right?
Yeah, I would say that we've built a small community. Small, but good and strong nonetheless.
No, I mean, how your songs, do they have many views, plays on Spotify and stuff? How is it? Or what do you consider a big number, or what?
Well, I guess big numbers would be... What would you consider a big number?
I don't know, but I mean, it doesn't really matter, because it's the streams and the people visiting and looking at our music are all organic. And even though it's not big numbers, knowing that it's the same people coming back and
It's
asking
huge.
for more, that makes you feel a certain kind of way. You feel like you owe to give them more, which is why we're trying to make some music now.
Yeah.
Just because we owe them that.
How do you guys promote yourselves in general?
Well, this is what I was about to say. What do I consider a big number? I mean, this year I have a goal to hit over 100,000 streams on a song. And that might be small to others, but to me that seems like a reasonable margin to reach. Because at the minute, I think the most streams we have on a song might be close to 30,000. So it's not massive, but I think it's still good because, like Max said, it's organic. We've never pumped money into promotion. And it was just whoever knew, and it was the basic kind of dabble into promotion of, let's do a sponsored ad on Facebook and a sponsored ad on Instagram. And again, the budgets were small. It wasn't like we pumped hundreds of euros into it. It was kind of like, we've got 50 euros, let's pump that in for the week.
I think our only campaign was literally 100 euros.
Yeah, that was probably the most we spent. Yeah. So, and I was actually having this conversation with Max in the car on the way here, that there's something really, it's a warm fuzzy feeling inside knowing that I've done nothing promotional wise, and we've got people that come back every month or every day and still listen to the same music, and they still listen to the same songs, and they still come up to me and they go, I know your lyrics, I know your song. Or like when we hear them being sung back to us at shows, and I'm like, we're this like little ant in the world, and there's still people that, care. So it's motivation for us to do more, and I really do hope to pump some promotion into the following projects, because we've worked our asses off the last 2 years trying to save money to put towards our records and actually do something worth listening to, and something that we can be proud of as well.
How many songs are out there from you?
5 at the minute, but we also did a Christmas cover at some point, which I don't know if you would count as a release, so maybe 6 with that. Oh, and the remix. We have a remix as well, of course.
And how many new songs are already ready, to be released? Studio and everything.
We have a lot of songs, but we're prioritizing certain songs that we think all fit under one project. So we have, one song that we're not actually going to put onto the project, the EP album, but we have one song that we're working at the moment, which is almost finished. And then we also have 5 songs that we're hoping to put under one project for an EP album. So there's 6 in total that are like on the way to be finished, to be released. In what order and when is still up to question, but we're hoping to do one release every 2 months. It's been a while since we released something, but like I said, we've been traveling around for work and focusing more on live shows. And now that we've actually got the time to spend or rot in the studio for a couple of months, we're doing that and taking advantage of it.
So what about the 6 songs you have already when you play live?
We do play them live.
So is it different than the studio version, or are you playing around and let's add this and that?
Some of them are close to what we have in mind for the production. Some of them are arranged for the live environment, so it will sound different on the record.
Okay.
I would say it's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both, yeah. Some songs have a live feel to them anyway, so even the production will be mostly a live performance.
Okay. What about you with the Private Garden and everybody else? You already said you have more songs coming out. Tell us a little bit about the music videos you guys had, because I'm not sure if Nicolis is gonna come back to make it.
Hopefully he'll be back.
Yeah. Liza was a nice music video to shoot inside the video.
Yeah.
The studio.
Yeah, Liza was not an easy day. Shooting all of that in a day was quite difficult, and the difficulties that we had with
and we were a big crew.
Actors and other issues with harnesses. It wasn't an easy one. And again, a situation where we had to change the script because of the situation. But yeah, that was definitely a lot of fun, and I think despite all of that, we managed to get a very, very good result.
It was a nice song as well.
Yeah.
And you were there too.
Yeah. I actually forgot I was there for a second.
Everything is a crossover episode.
It just now hit me. I was like, oh yeah, shit, I'm in that video.
Yeah.
So you were one of the people who were...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I was one of the people that was...
And the next one, Mr. TV, it was a totally different
totally different vibe.
Yeah.
But that's probably my favorite one.
It's also my favorite.
Yeah, I think that... Because it looks a lot more expensive than it is.
Really?
I
Yeah, you
it
think
does.
so? Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
I think so, definitely. Like, it seems like a big budget video. And there's so many fun scenes and it's so well shot. I think it's fantastic.
And I think we
I
have.
think your camera work when you can't really tell apart the drone shots and your camera work. I think
It's
that
me
makes it a
running.
little fun.
Yeah, that was a fun day, and I think it was the right timing between. It was the time where FPV drones were started to be popular, and I found Alex
Yeah.
Pandeli. He was one of the first ones in Cyprus, I think, and he was doing this crazy stuff. And
Yeah.
we released it, and everybody was like, "Whoa, what is this?" And I'm like, "It's an FPV drone." Alex is a master of, and it was fun. I think it was you where you were doing something on the TV, and then the drone.
Oh yeah, I cut my finger. Yeah.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Do you remember something?
I remember the injury.
Yeah, I had an injury shooting that because the drone, I think on the second or third take we were taking when I was changing the channels on the TV, the drone hit my finger
Ugh, sorry about
and
that.
I bled a little bit, but it was fine.
It's right, we don't need to have drones around. It does that on a daily basis anyway.
Yeah, like, it doesn't take much
It
for me.
doesn't take
It happened that I was also unlucky to get hit by the drone.
You are full with blood, but you are okay, let's do it.
Yeah, most of
yeah.
the time. That's how I go through life.
And also, I have to say this. I'm so sorry, but Max, you're my favorite guy that plays an instrument and I record. And on
I know.
Liza, and on Mr. TV, you
Thank you.
are the guy that I really love. I know. Okay, I'm gonna leave Max at the end because I know he's gonna do
Yeah,
one,
he's
two
gonna
takes, and
deliver.
that's it.
I
Oh,
try
yeah.
to make it as easy as possible for the
Man,
person.
I'm
But
not
you
behind
don't
the
need to
joking.
do anything. You're just he was made to be in front of a camera.
I'm not joking. I've done billions of music videos, and you are the guy that is always on point, man. I don't know
I
how
agree.
you.
I have-
But see?
Yeah.
See?
Sure.
Bloody
I have-
hell.
I have
Do you know
more.
how hard it is to keep up with that? What bloody hell, makeup, hair, outfits. This one just wakes up and it looks like bloody God
I
himself.
shower sometimes.
No.
And in real life, you're like low tone, like very, I don't know. And
I it's not always conscious, but I try to separate those two personas. I don't need to be a dickhead to people around me.
right, yeah, of course, yeah.
Like the person on stage is the person on stage giving a show. It's not the same person. I'm playing a role there,
Right.
and I think more people would benefit from that. But that's beside the point. I also have a
I
lot of
second that.
experience behind the camera, so I know what kind of works because, and that's why I want to make it as easy and productive as possible for the person behind the camera because I've been on the other side and I know what it takes and I know how difficult it is.
What about you? Do you have a different persona on stage and in real life?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, actually, a couple of years ago when I was seeing a therapist, she goes, "Oh, I saw a couple of videos of yours online actually from when you were on TV," and she goes, "I wonder why you're not actually using that person in your personal life, and to come out on top on some certain situations that you feel like you're going under or being stepped all over." And I said, "Well, because that's my stage persona and this is me, and it's they're two different people." And she went, "But why can't they be the same person?" And that made me think. I didn't actually realize how different it was because to some people that know me might not think it's that different, and to other people who don't know me, they expect me to be the same person off stage as I am on. And I get that a lot where people will see me like backstage and they'll go, "Oh, you're really humble and you're really quite tamed behind the scenes, whereas on stage you're just like, you're roaring at everyone." And I'm like, well, yeah, because I feel like that's Erika Soteri, and then backstage, as my family calls me, Gigi, or I'm Erika, or I'm Federiki, or whatever. So it is different, and I like that, and I want to keep it that way. But thanks to my therapist, I have been able to kind of bring her into where she needs to be, when it comes to business or my personal life. So that has helped in a lot of ways. My stage persona has helped my personal life, and my personal life pours into that stage persona as well. So it's a nice relationship, which took a while to kind of find a balance in between. But yeah, definitely two different people. They're not the exact same person. I think it's unhealthy to keep the same. It's tiring.
I think so too, yeah.
You can't keep that image up all the time.
And let's give some credits to the behind the scene people from the music video. It was Rahmatul in there for Liza, everyone. Manolis was there.
Yeah, the guys really had all of the
Alex
shit down,
on
yeah.
both clips. He was a great producer. Stefanos. Who else? I think everybody. Like in even Liza, I really liked it because everything was organized. Even though everything went wrong, I
started
think
off
we were
well.
like,
Yeah.
we're doing great. Mr. T was a whole different thing, but we managed to do it nicely. So thank you guys, cast and crew. What is next? Are you guys submitting to the new one? Do you have any new music or
Sadly,
music
we
videos?
don't have any new music videos yet,
Okay.
so maybe the next year one.
Yeah, I mean, we have to release the music first. I think music comes first. It's not the era of music comes first, and I know the visual matters more to get more views.
Do you think nowadays is more the music videos or the song?
People listen to music on mute. Like,
Yeah.
I think because of the
it's a very visual era. Like,
I think because of the chokehold TikTok and Instagram have got on people at the moment, reels and all of that, that visual is definitely superseding the actual music a little bit. And also a lot of people are just creating music purely for that, you know? So there's also that, and that has affected the music industry a lot and on the way that we create and why we create now. We had this conversation a couple of days ago, and we keep having this conversation of why are we producing, why are we creating, are we still doing it because we feel like we have something different or something to say that differs from everyone else, or is it because we enjoy it? Is it because we're creating to create content for social media? What is it for? So along those lines, we don't want to prioritize doing a music video just yet because I want to put the music first.
Okay.
Still. I'm quite traditional in my ways when it comes to that. Like, I get that we're in a new place in the industry and it's quite foreign to what it's been like in the last 2 decades. But I think I still want to stand strong in my feet and do what feels right to me and to us and do the song.
It's just truer to ourselves.
Yeah.
I personally don't watch music videos. Like, it's very rare. Like, either someone introduced me to the music video or I already know the song and I'm just curious how they connected that to video, just from an artistic standpoint. But I'm not going to be discovering new music through music videos.
Right. What about you?
I've always appreciated a good music video, put it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it adds a whole new dynamic to the song and it's like if you're seeing 2D, you see 3D once the visuals are there. Because if you do it well, you can understand the lyrics or the meaning of a song in an entirely new way, or the way that the artist actually intended it to be through the visuals. I also think it could break the song at the same time. I've seen some really crappy music videos that serve the songs nothing, and I think, well, you might as well not have done it.
But you've seen the other way around, that music actually bad music, but a great music video, and they're becoming famous through the music video.
I agree.
Yeah.
So,
Well, at that point, it's not a music video, it is music for cinema. Because when the visual is so good and the music is and you can't listen to that song without actually looking at the video, then you kind of just accompanying the visual.
Oh, that's correct.
I love music videos though. I think that there's always going to be a place for them in whatever platform they're on. But and I hope to create a lot of visuals. I also want to incorporate my acting skills and hopefully dancing skills, and obviously Max looks great in front of a camera, so Max in front of the camera as much as possible.
Yeah, I think your strength, guys, is actually the visuals.
Yeah, so I think we
need to change the rest of the band though, that's a problem. We'll hire an actor for the rest.
Yeah, let's cut Nicolis out. Right. What else? Do you guys want to say anything or?
Well, it's been nice catching up over a drink, even if there is
Yeah, it's
3,
been
4,
a
5
while.
cameras on us and 100 mics. But,
Did we forget anything?
no, I mean, shout out to you for creating the music video and helping me
Thank you.
along that journey. And I hope we can collaborate more in the future.
For sure.
And obviously with their projects as well, with
Yeah,
Private
definitely.
Garden.
All the work that you put into the Private Garden music videos.
Thank you. man.
Incredible.
All right, let's follow Facebook, Instagram. Do you have TikTok?
No, I don't have TikTok.
YouTube?
I'm a stubborn mule with that.
What is the handle, Erika?
Erika Soteri. So
Okay.
Erika with a K and Soteri. So there you go.
Okay, and guys, like the music videos, the songs everywhere, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
Private Garden, Pinwheel Valley,
King Valley.
What
My
else?
personal is
Your
Max
personal?
produced.
Max produced, and you have for the studio or
We do
909
909
Studios.
Studios.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be everything in the description. Follow them because they have songs coming out. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you so much
Thank
for having
you.
us.